Breaking news. Fallout on Prime tweeted 3 hours ago during the show. Tomorrow, Galaxy News brings you an exclusive look at the next generation apocalypse-proof, purpose-built luxury housing. And Vault Tech's new product unveiling tomorrow. It looks like we are going to get that trailer tomorrow. Yes.
You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Fallout is pretty as snow when the ash starts to glow. The feel of radiating through your home. Fallout is pretty as snow when the ash starts to glow. The feel of radiating through your home. Fallout is pretty as snow when the ash starts to glow. The feel of radiating through your home. Fallout is pretty as snow when the ash starts to glow. The feel of radiating through your home.
Hello and welcome to the 440th edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite festive Fallout faces. Tonight we've got Jess. What is up, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greeps, everybody.
And also Ray. What's going on, Ray?
Yeah, hello.
Tonight on the show, we'll discuss our weekly gameplay as per usual. We'll get into some shouts, it looks like, and a little mismatch of our usual order. We'll get to shouts and some feedback. Taz wrote in an email. Also, a little game time coming up, of course, and iguana bits to wrap up the show. Got a little bit of everything tonight, so why don't we go ahead and roll right into it. Hey, Ray, did you get a chance to play any video games these last 2 weeks?
Why, yes, I did.
It's a lot of time to play video games. You had been missing out right before the break.
Yeah, so I started after the show 2 weeks ago, looking through some new mods and digging around, for Starfield mods, and came up with a nice little pack of mods that I added to my game, and prompted me to, shock of all shocks, start a new character. And
Can't believe it.
I know, right? And so now, 50 hours and 50 levels later.
Already.
Yeah. This character has been a lot of fun. So it really started off because I found a mod that was called Functional Brigs. So you've got the brig habitat or hab, that is just kind of a set decoration. But so many times I've boarded an ecliptic ship, and they've had their own people in those cells, and so it's always been intriguing. But I came across this mod called Functional Brigs, and it lets you incapacitate an enemy and then send them to your brig. And like, okay, got to do a bounty hunter character. Now, granted, I didn't use the bounty hunter background, but I think what did I use? Soldier, I think. But so then I had to start, building ships with brigs in them. And so now I fly around. I have two 2x2s and one Nova Galactic Armory, which the Nova Galactic Armory I discovered through a Ken Pole video, has a brig bed in it. So I threw that in my ship too. So I've got 5 beds. And so now anytime I board a ship or, visit a location on a planet where I have to clear out bad guys, I throw them in the brig. And that it's been just an absolute blast. So the same mod author also has a
Sheriff
functional
Ray.
infirmary. Okay, so I forgot one other thing. So when you have them in your brig, now when you land in a city where they have guards, you can go up to the guard and say, "Hey, I've got
Collect a bounty.
I've got some bad guys," and so they'll pay a bounty for them.
You can also
So they give you about 1,600 credits for each one.
Sweet.
So that's been fun. But this mod author also has functional infirmaries. So now the infirmary hab in your ship is no longer just a place with with some beds that you can't interact with. Now, if you go in there, if you have a doctor on your ship, which there's a woman in Aquila City that you can recruit, and she has the medicine perk. So that enables you to interact with the bed in the infirmary and either, heal your wounds or your afflictions. So kind of like an auto doc in Fallout. And so, that's been fun to have an actual purpose for having an infirmary on your ship instead of, just another idle decoration. And so that's been running around having fun with that. And as a result, I've had to do more shipbuilding than I had previously. Before, my ships were all just fighter ships. There was one all-in-one berth, and then all the rest was stuff tacked on to hold weapons, so that it was just a gunboat. So this one I've had to actually interact with the building system and get building parts to connect to each other. And so I spent a lot of time pulling out what remaining hair I have, dealing with that system. Because, oh boy, it makes no sense at all. But the character's been a lot of fun to play. So a couple of more mods that I put in. So Galactic Radio is a mod that adds a radio to the game.
Puts all the Fallout music in the game.
Yeah. And so it's really an absolutely perfectly executed mod. This thing, so they've got it comes with 4 radio stations, and each one has a voiced DJ of varying styles. They're located in different cities, in the galaxy, and one of them, his name is Willie Keno, and he is the classic conspiracy theory, gravelly voiced uh, guy, talk show guy. And he has these, he's got an interview with a couple of people. He's got stories about, things that are happening, in the universe. One of them is, this conspiracy theory about Nova Galactic having, gone and developed, grav drives with, some technology that, nobody knows where it came from, and all this stuff. It's really well written. And all the DJs, have conversations. One of them is Um, it's set in Neon, and she talks about different people, and the underground music scene in Neon and all this kind of stuff. It's really well done. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Um, it has an add-on that you can put in that installs all of the Fallout radios. So Three Dog, Mr. New Vegas, uh, Travis, the whole kit boodle. And so I'll eventually get to that. But it also allows you to drop MP3s into the files. And so you can load,
Oh,
the Fallout feed into your radio station and go in and select it and listen to the latest episode while you're flying around Starfield.
okay. I like this idea because, yeah, I mean, we need radio stations. I love the idea of being able to roll your own like that.
Yeah. So another mod, I added quite a few mods. So another one that I've enjoyed is sit to add to fleet. So instead of the little song and dance you have to do where you take over a ship, you sit in the pilot seat, you make it your home ship, and then undock with your regular ship and then quickly try to redock and then get back on your regular ship. This one, you sit down in the seat and it pops up a message. This ship is added to your fleet. You say okay, and then you can transfer back onto your other ship directly from there, and go on about your way. It's made commandeering ships, much less tedious than the regular way of doing it. And then
I still have never done that.
It's a lot of fun. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 40% of my gameplay.
I did just restart a character to try the other stuff that I didn't, dabble with much of my first time through.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, to get into in the game.
Mainly the whole flying part that I tried to ignore my first time through. You know what
right.
I mean?
And I have 4 outposts with this character.
Also, never built a damn outpost.
Well, and I had once and found so little use for it that I never did it again. Well, I've got a mod called SKK Universal Stash. And it starts off, you activate it in the safe in the lodge in your bedroom. And then from there on, you can add crates to your outposts that link everything to the safe in the lodge. And so that safe is unlimited storage. The only problem is you can't access it from anywhere. Where this mod gives you these crates that let you access it in your outposts. So it's kind of like, the workshop in Fallout 4.
Yeah,
so you can just put a ton of junk in. And then when you set up supply lines, that lets you access that junk in other settlements. And so that's what this does. But it also takes it one step further. It also lets you do it in your ship. And any other workbench you activate in the universe. So it's definitely made building outposts, something interesting. So I still have to fly to each one of the outposts and transfer the stuff from the extractors into universal chest, but it's a small price to pay to be able to access all that stuff. Plus, you can just continually gather junk. When you're destroying ships and cleaning out their inventory. If you go make a big haul, go to the Jameson mercantile and buy up a bunch of crafting material, you can just transfer it to your ship and then go to one of your bases and transfer it into the crate. And now you've got, now your crafting is much simpler and less tedious. So I've been having fun with that. So I actually I took weapons and spacesuit modification. So I've been playing around with modding weapons and spacesuits.
They all sound awesome. I love how much you can do. And I love that all these mods keep coming out despite not having the creation kit out yet.
Right. So none of the, I'm really, really, really looking forward to that, because as it is now, the modders, everything they're doing with existing infrastructure in the game and existing assets. Once they get the creation kit, they'll be able to create assets and add them to the game. And so it'll definitely explode.
And I've heard from some modders that the way it's set up is not quite as mod friendly as some previous games, but hopefully the Creation Club will kind of help sort that out. Because you've mentioned yourself, Ray, about how the different files are stored in multiple locations now, multiple folders compared to what they used to be in the past. Yeah. And I've heard others discuss how the biggest hurdle that they're looking at is loading multiple, and I'm going to get the term wrong, whether it's ESPs or ESMs or whatever, like per cell can be an issue. There's not the usual load this and then this and they modify each other, because you know how we stack things. So if multiple things modify the same thing, we stack, and some things will apply, some things won't. That stacking doesn't work as well. I don't know the details on it, but despite all that, modders are finding a way. So thank you.
Yeah, they're making some great mods. It's a lot of fun. So when Starfield was on the horizon, and we knew that 6 days later Phantom Liberty would drop, I knew that I was not going to be picking up Phantom Liberty on the launch date. I predicted December, but turns out it was the end of November.
Tell me what that is.
So Phantom Liberty is the DLC for Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
So with adding that DLC, now not only do you have Keanu Reeves, but you have Idris Elba.
What do you mean you have them?
Well, they're in the game. So Johnny Silverhand is 100% looking. He looks like Keanu Reeves. Of course, he sounds like him because he voiced it. But now you've also got Idris Elba playing a character who you interact with in the Phantom Liberty. So they also did a 2.0 update, which dramatically changed the game. This was really huge. And so I scrapped a character that I had built before because, it changed enough where that character was now broken. He didn't have, points in the right perk tree. So I started over fresh. Plus that's helped with learning the ins and outs of the game. It's much easier at the beginning of the game to learn how the different functions interact. And so I've been having fun with that, and so working my way up on that. So I'm about 20 hours in on that one, maybe a little bit more. But again, doing a net runner, which is my favorite in Cyberpunk. But now I'm getting perks in the right category, so it plays
Nice.
It plays really nicely.
Did you say Johnny Silverhand earlier?
Yeah, that's Keanu Reeves' character's name.
Does anyone else's mind jump to Johnny Tremaine? No.
No, because of the fact Johnny Tremaine. Oh my gosh, Fallout 4. No, but Johnny Silverhand's such a big character in Cyberpunk, so didn't even think of it.
And he also has long hair, beard, goatee, and mechanical arms.
Silver, in fact.
Yes, but definitely fun to be back in Cyberpunk.
That's awesome. When did you say that came out? Around the same time Starfield came out, you said?
Yeah, about 6 days later. I think,
Oh, that's rough. Do games ever try to miss release dates of other games? They're like, oh crap, that's coming out then.
Oh,
let's
definitely
not.
get out the way.
Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way.
Yeah. For instance, GTA 6 has a trailer coming very soon, and a lot of games are going to get out the way of GTA 6.
Yeah, let's drop it
And-
either a month before or 6 months after.
And funnily enough, the way things went, but Baldur's Gate releasing earlier on PC was partly to get out the way of Starfield, and boy, did that work out well for them. So yes, it definitely happens.
When did that come out?
The 1st of August. It was originally supposed to come out late August, just before Starfield, and they moved it to the beginning of August on PC.
to get some attention before. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after I started playing, there was an announcement that they were going to have a big update launching December. Is it 5th or 8th? I think it might be the 5th.
For what? For Atlantic City?
No, for it's an update to Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
2.1. So I watched a video on it today, and they are so Night City has always had a tram system that runs through the area, but you've never been able to ride it unless you used a mod. But they are going to be adding the trams to the game, so now you'll be able to ride the essentially the subway.
They are adding some great stuff. I love all these little updates. We had a Dame stack earlier tonight, and we were talking about there was some commentary about this update that they keep adding these things. Like they want people to keep going back and replaying the story. Like they're adding just enough tweaks that it's more than a small tweak that people want to go back and play. So kind of clever on their part, but give it a break. Other games need a chance.
Yeah, that's okay.
I-
The most of those games aren't first person, so I don't care about them.
True.
So, update away. So, we're still waiting to hear about updates for No Man's Sky. One of the downsides to being incredibly prolific in your updating is people really get used to updates.
It's true. It becomes the norm.
Hello Games was, for the last 2 years has been updating No Man's Sky 4 times a year, which is incredible. I mean, these are, not, slouchy little updates. These are, big, content adding updates to the game. And this year there's only been 3, and so everybody's kind of in a knot, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So we'll see what happens. But I think I've got enough to keep me busy. If I can squeeze in 80 hours of gameplay in 2 weeks, I think I'm good.
Amazing.
That's not even overtime yet, Ray. You need to put in the extra hours, please. Show some dedication to this project, if you would.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Your next performance review will be quite kind. Playing anything else, Ray? Did you get to all of it?
No, that was all I did.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir. Hey, Jess, did you by chance get a chance to play any video games this week? Last week? 2 weeks?
I played the game of hanging on Ray's commentary in Discord, stuff like that, about some of the cool stuff he was up to with those mods. They did sound awesome. A lot of great stuff. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded, and I thought I had this beautiful idea in my head. I had this wonderful idea that after I was done with the parade and Shakespeare and coming into Thanksgiving, it was the perfect time to just play Starfield. Nothing but Starfield, like I did the first month it was out, like day after day. I have played some Starfield, but it's still only been once or twice a week. I've just been a little bit busy with things. I'm releasing YouTube clips of cutout visits from the parade, some of the parade visits, and got other stuff going on. Fallout calling my name in 76, but in Starfield. So what did I do? Well, I met the Starborn finally. That's exciting. So
wait,
no,
you're Starborn?
I am not even close to Starborn,
okay.
But I have met them. Yes, I was over 270
I see.
70 hours in and hadn't even met a Starborn. It's not big spoilers, but you have the opportunity to meet them after you finally go with Walter to Neon. So yeah, when last talked about it, I think I mentioned I was outside of Neon with Walter, still making him wait. But I did all that. I went into Neon. I did that quest. I met the Starborn. I went back, and I've done a lot more since. So I've done system exploration. Wanted to see as many systems as possible, and did some good exploration, trying to clean up the visit all systems achievement, land on enough planets achievement, the scan enough organic and inorganic materials achievement. I spent a lot of time on it. It's funny, doing little quests. They sent me to a planet, Linnaeus 4A, so actually a moon, technically, if it's 4A. And it was a good one. When you can find a moon or planet that has iron and aluminum and copper, and if you're lucky, like beryllium and stuff like that too, all in one place, that's a great place to put an outpost and get that working, because of the fact that you can use it to, do crafting and make a bit of an XP and credit farm that way. Because as I think most people know, adaptive frames you make from aluminum and iron. So it's not a ton of credits for those, but you can get some decent XP just crafting a whole bunch at once with the resources. Copper and beryllium are Tau grade rheostats, and those are good credits and the same XP. And there are any number of combinations too, but those are two of my favorite to do. And then, just kind of start combining the excess. And yes, you get super cucumbered. But if you can get all that in one location, the reason why it's good to get it in one outpost, if possible, is because, when you sleep, the resources accumulate. Your extractors keep running and the resources happen. So that'll build up. But if you're relying on the cargo links, okay, if you're having it busted, I mean, those cargo links are kind of like buses, right?
Yeah, they're yellow, right?
Moon, yeah, basically, exactly. Magic school bus.
Come on, ride on the magic school bus.
With Miss Frizzle driving it, bringing you your copper. If they're coming in from another place in the system, or even extra solar, and they're coming across with the helium-3, those aren't going to keep running while you're sleeping. Like, the game doesn't tally the back and forth on that while you're sleeping. So it'll tally production, but I don't believe it tallies the back and forth on that. So it doesn't work the same. So it's great to get it all in one location. I will say Linnaeus 4A, I kind of recommend. Now, I believe it's Bessel. There's a moon in Bessel that has some of the very best. Is it like 49 or 57 hours per hour of UTC?
Yeah,
It's
57.
Yeah, 57. I knew it was pretty quick. And there are some others, but this one at Linnaeus was not bad. I think it's like 14 or 15 hours per sleep. So it's a good alternative. There are some others. If you can find yourself a place that has all those elements, just go for it. It has lost its luster a little bit. One of the things, and I am level 60, by the way. I finally hit it. I think I was 57 or 58 last show. I did hit level 60, but you level slower now. There is no doubt that as you level up, you level slower, which even Ray has run into. I mean, I know you've done those first 20 levels a lot, Ray, but like your highest level character is between 60 and 70 now, right?
Yeah.
And they come so slow. It's a good 5,500 to 6,000 XP per level, which is, 3 times what it was early on. Actually,
it's a solid
100 per level, right?
1.5 times around Serpentis.
Yeah, more than that. But now that I'm starboard, I can finally run into starborn ships in Serpentis, probably. So I haven't yet. I actually did end up back at Serpentis right this morning before going to bed, because I was trying to get a little XP and get those levels finally. But yeah, so I'm enjoying that. What I have done since then is a lot of missions. I've gone to Neon more, and I'm cleaning up all the side quests in Neon. I've gotten pretty far with that. I'm not all of them yet. My side quest total count is probably around 140 at this point. Now, I believe there are 67 named side quests, not including obviously the faction quests, like just specific side quests. I think I've heard 67. When I counted up my completed on that, I had 61. So I am nearly done with the named side quests in the game, supposedly.
Whoa.
Yeah, I scrolled down to give it a count, but there are still obviously like 6 I haven't discovered.
That's amazing.
So we'll get that worked out, plus all the factions. I still haven't touched the Crimson Fleet or Ryujin. And, I might do Ryujin this playthrough instead of waiting for next. I don't know. I might do Fleet this playthrough. Maybe I'll do everything on Gemma. We'll see. But yeah, so what I was doing this week, when I did get a chance to play the last 2 nights, basically, I played some, is jumping around and taking just some mission board missions to get starships, because I like fighting starships. Although at this point, Ray, I'll tell you, I'm a little OP. I'm a little powerful. Apparently, if once you do game the system and you get decent credits, you unlock the good stuff, and you play a lot like we have been, it's not that hard to make a ship that will tackle and take on most everything. So I have done that, and it's not as challenging.
I've had to ramp up the difficulty, in order to make it a little more fun.
That's not a bad idea. I thought that I might. Right now I'm still on normal. I've been on normal the whole time, but I'm thinking, the Starborn are going to be tougher. But I don't know how much tougher they'll be. So we'll see. I have met them on planets, though, because in my planet exploration, they've landed some, they've exited, I've fought them. I don't totally understand them yet, but my character doesn't either. So that's, part of it. That's the whole story. So that is my Starfield play. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of them on level hard. Because most of the time you only deal with one of them in a battle.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all then.
Yeah, so it's really not a problem. And their ships are not that tough.
No, that first ship I met was, tougher than some, but not bad at all. And then on a planet, I've met 2 or 3 at once, and they haven't been too bad. I've actually had some harder fights with Ecliptic and Pirate still, because when you're on the higher level planets exploring, if I'm on a level 55 planet and I do a couple random encounters, like I got one, I had a fun one. So, how I generally avoid the repeatable locations unless I have a quest for it, but I'll explore one the first time I run into it for sure, or if a quest sends me there. I ran into a bounty hunter. He was just hanging out in a small outpost area. He's a bounty hunter. He's like, hey, I got this bounty, blah, blah, blah. You want to come help me clean it out? I could use some backup. So what a cool thing. Not even on a mission board. I meet this bounty hunter on the planet. I join him. We go, we clean out some Ecliptic. It's fun running across the country with him too. Kind of reminded me of in Skyrim when you're first running with the companions across the map. But yeah, they were tougher. They were a good level 55, 60. And so I like running into the randoms that spawn at that thing. And I think those dungeon runs are one place for a decent challenge.
I always play with Wanted, so I wonder how many times I've killed that guy um, unnecessarily, and
Oh
so
no.
miss that quest. Because if they pop up as a bounty hunter, boom, they're dead.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, this guy was not red at all. He was a friendly bounty hunter just looking for some backup. But
Yeah, I usually don't get close enough to see it.
one other thing I do want to mention about my Starfield gameplay too, for anyone else out there who experiences the issue. So we've talked about various things happening in Starfield. You know, the bugs. While it may be one of their Bethesda's least buggy releases, there are some things that impact us, and even some game-breaking ones that they're addressing bit by bit. But one that I've had multiple times that never went away, by the way, I still have it and have had it since it first happened a month ago, is the disappearing ship bug. And what this is, you go into the shipbuilder to modify your ship. You're there, you're happily replacing stuff. You may be changing the paint job. You may be like putting on some guns. You're swapping out your, entryway. And then you leave the shipbuilder all happy after the hour you spend in there. And you look on the pad at your outpost or at the shipbuilder location outside of Keela City, wherever you are. And there's no ship. There is a lovely blue hexagon saying, hey, if you could get in me, I bet you could go and do a quest right now, but you can't because I'm not here to this. You try to fast travel the ship, it won't be there. So anyway, this has been going on. I first talked about it because it happened when I was first trying to change out the entryway. What do you call the entryway? Not the landing gear, landing bay.
The landing bay.
Yeah, I had that foolish red one from Hope Tech. I still don't like it. It's annoying me, but I couldn't swap it out. But now it's happening with any number of pieces. Upgrade my reactor, upgrade this or that. So I found something of a solution. So first of all, if you save first and try it, sometimes it'll stay, sometimes it won't. You can get lucky. But if you're finding you're not getting lucky, then you want to switch another ship to your home ship. And then you can take and you can modify the other ship that's your home ship that's not having the issue. Then modify the one that is no longer your home ship that you like. Go in there, do your thing, save it. Then exit the shipbuilder completely. Do a little dance, whatever. Go back in and then swap it back to your home ship, the one that was giving you trouble, and boom, it'll pop in. So by not being your home ship, when you do the change, it will come back. Now, and this does happen on both PC and Xbox. Clint asked if it's an Xbox only thing. It's not wicked common, but it seems to be the root cause of it seems to be if it's a stolen ship that you've now made your primary ship and working on. It doesn't happen for everybody, of course. Like it doesn't even happen a lot. But if it does happen to you, this is the way to get around it. Make another ship your home ship, modify that, modify the one that you want to do, and then swap it back. And it should work. And so I think it's because some of those stolen ships will occasionally disappear on you because they're supposed to zip off. And it doesn't happen with bot ships. Doesn't happen with the name ships you're given. Seems to just be stolen ships. And this one I built is on top of, I don't remember if it's Ecliptic or Varun. I think it was Varun. And that's my Indigo Strike. So, yeah, no, definitely registered. It's my primary ship and has been for a while.
Yeah, I've got on this save that I'm running right now. I haven't invested in ship building at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I only use ships that I've commandeered. I don't steal ships. I commandeer them.
Oh, difference, please tell us the semantics here.
Tomato, tomato. They're bad guys. I didn't take it from good guys. If you take it from good guys, then it's stealing. If you take it from bad guys, it's commandeering.
Yeah, it's basically liberation. Absolutely. Liberate them ships and commandeer them.
Yep. Yeah, those ships hate being flown by bad guys. They desperately want somebody to save them. So that's what I do. I haven't had that one, but I do lose a couple of ships every few days. And so that gets annoying. And then also I've got the can't change the name bug. So,
right.
My solution for that one, it doesn't happen to every ship, but once it happens, that's it. So fortunately, it was time for an upgrade anyway, so I got rid of pirate ship, and which is funny because it was an ecliptic ship that I had taken, but in the process of modifying, it decided it was pirate ship. And so that it stayed.
And it makes you wonder if it will cause problems later on. I mean, there's all kinds of speculation as to the root causes for various issues. Like if it's a ship that has the name bug, like does it have issues with that ship later on various things? The biggest reason supposedly for people who have you can no longer get into ships, that they all say inaccessible and enemies don't come out when the ships land on planets anymore, usually happens if you come across a starborn ship that you're able to get into when you're not supposed to. Because early on when starborn ships are landed before your New Game Plus, you're not supposed to be able to get in them. But if you come across one that is open, you run up, you get in and steal it or whatever, then it starts causing all kinds of issues because you're not supposed to be doing that yet, which is supposedly that's what causes the inaccessible ship bug in a playthrough. I don't know, but there's just a lot of speculation on that stuff. My friend Kim just started playing Starfield, I believe, 2 weeks ago now. And she seemed to be, it took a little bit to get into it. She seemed to be enjoying it, but she has had a much worse time with crashes than us or, the majority of the crew we talk to. Like I know some people say, oh, Starfield crashes a good bit for me on my Xbox, but I haven't known anyone personally who's had a lot of crashes. But yeah, she on a Series X is having crashes half the time she fast travels almost. And so she has to be very careful about that and save ahead. And I said, turn off auto saving on fast travel, but it's not even just fast travel it's happening in. So who knows? Looking up various reasons for that. Some people speculate that has to do with the fast data transfer rate, that some Series X hard drives, depending on the hard drive, have more trouble with the super fast data transfer rate. So some optimized for Series S and X games have trouble and crash more, but not sure.
Yeah, that'd be frustrating.
That's pretty much it for my Starfield play. I'm happy. I've been enjoying it. Like I said, playing once or twice a week. I did manage to twice this week. So, and the weekend should be pretty free. So fingers crossed, knock on the desk. We're doing
I've heard
good.
that one before.
Oh my gosh. It's, I was living in this game like for a good 30 hours a week for the first month and a half, 2 months. But once I got on this 76th anniversary project, just so many other things came up and there's always something to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been great. And, 76, wonderful too. So Fallout 76, what have I been doing? Well, besides the parade, which I do think we had a chance to talk about last episode, what was coming up after that app that we didn't talk about was the Shakespeare play. So we did do our performance of Shakespeare's Coriolanus in Fallout 76.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was on Sunday the 19th. Thanks to a lot of people in the community who came out to watch. That was really wonderful to have you guys there. The show went well. It's less than an hour. We did it for Fallout for Hope. And, it's just so well attended. So much love in the audience, clapping, comments, people enjoying Shakespeare. I was worried that this one being shorter and a tragedy, it might not pull people in like a comedy does. And maybe in some ways it didn't, but people still really got into it. On top of that, during the show, because it was a charitable function, people did give donations, and we got an anonymous donation of $1,000 for the charity during the show. Yeah. So thank you to whomever that was. And thank you to everyone, any amount, the $5, the $10, everything that came in, all wonderful. But yeah, we raised over $1,000 because of that. Almost over 1,100 during the show. So just thank you so much for the support and enjoying the Shakespeare. And if you're interested in Shakespeare's Coriolanus and you want to watch it but missed it, I did do a holotape cut, which honestly, this was the biggest reason I didn't play Starfield for the holidays. Okay, because not only am I breaking out and editing parade clips, but I wanted to do a full version of Coriolanus. So I got in there and it actually came out really well. I learned how to do, for any video editors out there, like not just regular camera zooms and static animation zooms, but I'm doing, well, it's a different kind of timeline cuts and zooms of a different sort using keyframing. And I hadn't really done that previously. I've been doing it clip by clip in the past, but actually making it live movement, like you're panning and zooming a camera with keyframes, really cool. I know Randy knows way more about this than I ever will, but there we go. So yeah, that was good. And one more thing, Also, last night in the mail, I got this cute award. So this is,
Look at
I said
that.
cute.
Holy shit.
We got a Signal Award. This is a Signal Award, which is a podcast award show and panel. And this is for the Modus Files. So you guys all know we do the Modus Files podcast. I'm part of the main cast on that. Only the last year. I didn't expect to get one of these. I thought only the first year main cast would. But 2023 Listener's Choice winner, the Modus Files for Best Fan Podcast, voted by Lawrence, who's been on the show, of course. You guys remember Lawrence, he actually went to the award banquet and presentation in New York City.
Wow.
And was given his award in person. And then they sent them to a bunch of us. And this thing is heavy, y'all. Like this thing.
It looks amazing.
It's like at least 10 pounds. It's a kettlebell. It's incredible. Yeah. So that is amazing. And of course, Sulior is on the show too. And he's voiced multiple characters and supporting roles. And we've got, our friend Will has been on. A whole bunch of friends. Firewriter plays the Ghoul Eugenie. She's part of the cast. Like so many friends. It's one of the biggest media productions. And obviously I shout them out from time to time. But yeah, it's congrats to Modus Files on the award. And congrats to everybody for getting these. Yeah, this thing is awesome.
Very, very impressive. Congratulations. That's very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So that is exciting. And that's also, Fallout related, separately, tangentially, but it was good. I'm so excited. So last night I'm working on, I did leave out the biggest part, but we don't need to make a whole show about this again. But you know how your girl built a new computer, put together a new computer, pre-built and then added to it a little over a year ago, like last October, November. Well, don't leave a girl home for the holidays when she's not going to see her family or have anything distract her.
With a credit card.
Black Friday sales and just the need to do something sometimes leads her to start putting together another computer. So as Ray knows, I had some complaints on this one and I'm like, fine, let's just do it. So I was going to just replace the motherboard. And once I started going, I'm like, let's just do the whole thing. So I put together a system for me pre-built, and then I'm just moving the rest of the components over to the new one. And it's really sweet.
It's like when a hermit crab gets out of one shell and finds a bigger new home with new components. There you go.
That's exactly what it is, like a hermit crab. But Ray, I need those sweet, sweet frame rates to match my monitor, right?
There you go.
Here's what really happened, which we didn't cover this because, what really happened? No, what really happened was Black Friday sales and I'm home alone on Thanksgiving and do these things. But I played Starfield on the PC with the new DLSS patch and the changes. Because that came out, the DLSS patch came out after our last show. I believe it was the 20th or so. And oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. It was transformative, Ray. Playing this in ultra wide on my monitor with the resolution and the detail and the shading. And I was blown away. and yet.
So now you just need to add the lighting mod.
Oh, all the mods. Absolutely. But even without that, it looks so good. But my other PC, because the video card is maybe one of the weaker parts, couldn't hold a steady frame rate. And so I was, in the 40 to 50, which of course is more than 30, which is usually fine. But when it's jumping up and down like that and sometimes dipping below and you want to run it in ultra wide, yeah. So, that also maybe helped a little bit.
Yep.
Gosh, it looks good, Ray.
I'm happy for you. That's it. It is. It's hard to put into words. It's hard to really, quantify just talking about it. But yeah, when you see it, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. I understand higher resolution and, everything. And I mean, I know the difference on Fallout 76 on PC versus console, but this was even a little bit more stark than that. It really was. And just kicking it up to 1440, wow. So nice. So one thing odd about Starfield, not to get into it too long, but the resolution is kind of fixed. So you can either do borderless window, or full screen. And the borderless window, you can't make it like full screen borderless window. So you know how you can determine the resolution on most games and say, I want to run this in 1280 by 720 or whatever. Not that you would, but if you did, it's going to show up in your monitor, just a small little window at that size, and you can't make that full screen. And then you do full screen borderless, it'll just choose your monitor base resolution. It doesn't let you set the resolution. And I'm told that's part of DX12, but has that been an issue for you, Ray?
Yeah, it's kind of always been there. But that's why it's important to make sure you pair your monitor with your video card. Make sure you've got a monitor that doesn't, because that was the thing that I always ran into, is I always had to run mine at lower resolutions because I had a 4K monitor, but my video card couldn't support frame rates at 4K,
which wasn't a huge issue in the past because you could just say, okay, run in 1080 and go on with your day. But it seems harder now.
Yeah, well, and especially since you're running a unique format. With the ultra wide screen. I mean, they're fabulous and fantastic and look really good. But because they're farther ahead than most video drivers and most game developers, so the game has to be natively scaled to be able to do that in order to do it right. And so you definitely have challenges with that. But now that you're running with a little more juice.
Oh my goodness, I'm hopeful. Now this is just ultra wide. My monitor's super ultra wide, and the game will only go to ultra wide, probably unless I mess with the ini file. I could probably force it, but I'm fine. Even just ultra wide in the middle of the monitor, covering most of it, was really cool. But FOV doesn't work on that like I thought it would. So I thought like I'd do a bigger FOV. But when you choose FOV, it seems to still just affect the center of the monitor. So like it's rendering that, say you set it at 90 FOV. And that's not gonna be 90 FOV for the entire thing. It's 90 FOV for the regular 16:9 in the middle. And then the edges are stretched even more. So actually I reduce the FOV a little bit.
Yeah, and especially in Starfield, it doesn't really work that good right now.
Like many things, it'll get there, especially with mods and such. But but the native DLSS
you
really
get a lot of stretch on
it. But wow, sorry guys, I just kept going. I had some good gameplay. It's been 2 weeks, a lot to catch up on, a lot of fun things happening. It's been great, and I still love Starfield, no doubt. But I probably need to dig into a real Fallout game again soon. Not that 76 isn't real, but like a full Fallout game with a story that I can start at the beginning. Unless I make a new character in 76. That's an option, but you might have a riot on our hands from people who are like, I don't want to listen to that again, Jess.
She said real Fallout game.
Do not take that out of context. I just meant a real meaty game.
So Mo's been bugging me to get a VR headset. Is there one for Xbox, Jess? I know the PlayStation was into VR stuff.
No.
Xbox is not? Okay.
You're not really doing VR. Nope. You've got your MetaQuest stuff from Facebook, and you've got, the Steam stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that answers my next question. I was like, oh, can you play Starfield in VR? But no. Not if it doesn't exist for Xbox. So, well, actually, you can play Starfield on your new computer now.
Yeah, there probably will be eventually an adaptation to do that, since they've done it for past games. It's Leor in chat says, why would we want a short gameplay section? I guess that means no Shelter Roundtable. Is that what we're doing next, Andrew? Are we finally doing the Shelter Roundtable? How would we do that, by the way?
I don't know. We'd have to sit down and put our noggins together to try to piece that. I don't know, something with quests and getting to certain population by certain times, and I don't even know.
I think 10 is a good number.
10.
Yes. 10.
10 dwellers, and then we're done. And then kill them.
No, but that or Fallout 2. And also, gosh, Fallout London. I'm going to be playing that soon. That's going to be the big meaty game
Yeah.
I get into sooner than anything, assuming it still makes it out this month.
What about Fallout Atlantic City?
I cannot wait. We're only 3 days away from that.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that's this week. Holy
December
shit.
5th. Yeah, today's the 1st. That is December 5th. And we're going to Atlantic City.
Oh man, let's get out our
Which also means season 15. But we'll get into all that in a go on a bit.
gambling boots. Let's go get them ready. Was there any other gameplay stuff you wanted to mention, Jess?
That's good for me. No, I want to know what you're up to.
Oh, not much. My phone vault for Fallout Shelter, I actually haven't been checking it every day anymore. Sort of fallen on the wayside, and I mean not completely, but I don't check it every day. My main vault has now become the one on Xbox. I got it up to over 80, I think 84 dwellers at one point, because I can build the second to last room. I can't build the Nuka-Cola bottler yet. This is the only room I can't build. But what really breaks the dam with, because people kept, dying all the time. But I would get it up into the 40s, 50s, and then there'd be one of those disastrous rad scorpion where they just start up here and then go to this room, and but then all of a sudden 15 guys are dead.
Like SimCity back in the day.
Jesus
Everything's going well, and then tornado.
Oh man. But anyway, so I'm slowly but surely building it up. But what really broke the back was I got 2 Mr. Handies, and when you get 2 Mr. Handies, then you don't have to dedicate as much time and energy to collecting resources yourself, so you can sort of concentrate more on the other stuff, the radio and getting the barber shop set up and doing all sorts of the fun stuff. So it's starting to spread out a little bit. And I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I'm doing a vertical build instead of a horizontal, back and forth. I'm just doing the elevator shaft straight down, and then it's going to build across the bottom of the build area, and then along the far wall build all the way back up. I don't know why. I thought that would be silly to have the beginning and the end right next to each other, but you can't get there.
To make it like a big long path. I mean, it sounds incredibly like a fire hazard. I do not think the fire marshal would be down with that.
Stupid, right? Yeah. Definitely not fire safety approved. So yeah. The other big thing that opening it up was 2 quest teams. Now I've not maxed out yet, but got the Overseer's Office. Got that to the 2nd level, so I've got 2 teams out, bringing home, and it is amazing how much of a difference it is on the phone versus the Xbox. Survival mode on the Xbox it's fucking grim, man. After those initial burst of lunch boxes they give you at the very beginning of the game, you hardly ever see that shit on Xbox. On your phone, you take that stuff for granted because you're pumping that thing every day, every 3 hours or whatever, you're hitting that little thing. You're getting some bottles, you're getting some lunch boxes, and they just don't exist on Xbox.
I would like to lodge a protest. Ray, are you with me? Did Andrew not just say pumping that thing every day? We know that's not going to be in the end of the show clip. We know he's not going to make himself look like a horny fool.
No, of course not. That's not what I do.
I hope you enjoyed pumping that thing,
I don't even know what you're talking about. You saying that will be on the end of the show, though.
Muffin humpers.
Well, at least you brought it to everybody's attention in the middle of the show. So
There we go. Highlight
Hilarious.
it. Underline it.
Highlight it, underline it, double score it. So yeah, just still lots of shelter. It's amazing that it's still holding this much attention. I did end up getting a skeleton suit right before Halloween season ended. I've got a pilgrim suit now for that vault, and I'm crossing my fingers waiting for the Christmas season to open up so I get like an elf suit or the Santa suit going. I'm gonna try to get all the seasons on this Xbox vault. You about to say something, Jess? What was up?
No, that's it. I think I've said enough. I'm checking chat right now. Cosmo is talking about managing to transfer his Android Fallout Shelter save over to Xbox.
No
So
way.
he's explaining that right now. I'll let you know about it once he shares.
Oh, that's fun.
There we go. He just finished. He says it was basically a file copy to PC from Android, like syncing your phone to the computer, copying the file over to PC, and then it's synchronized to Xbox. But then he couldn't play it on Xbox with a controller fast enough. So it's almost like it's trying to play that version of the save. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, he got it to run, which is kind of neat. Good to know it's possible.
It is kind of bullshit that you only get 3 vaults, though. I would love to have about a ray's worth of vaults where I could just start a new vault every time I get a whim of I want to redesign the top floor like this. No, this way.
Yeah.
No, that, yeah.
We all have our favorite parts of games, Sometimes those initial first 10 levels can be the best, We're designing the character like Ray's doing and finding the path that they're going to go on. Like, it is great if you could just redo that.
Other than that, I've got decorated for the Christmas season on the exterior of my house in real life. So that means you got to do it in game as well. So I moved my camp back down to my Christmas camp, and I'm like, man, I remember doing this last year. That means I've been doing this for 3 years. This will be the 3rd year that my Christmas camp is together. It has the Christmas side on one side of the river and the Halloween on the other side of the river. I didn't have it up during the Halloween season this year, though. But I was just like, wow, how fucking long have I been playing this game now? Gee whiz. So it's fun to have a camp that I've had around so long. And then I was thinking, does Jess still have her survival tent on top of the world? Is it still fucking useless to her?
Yes, I do on my main character. And every once in a while I go up there and be like, wow, this is cool. Okay, this was cool, but it's still cool. But I've seen this view 100 times, but I kind of like it and don't want to move it because I'm the only person probably with a surviving shelter up there on top of the world.
But I thought about that. I was like, there's no way she still has it up there. That's amazing.
I do.
That's amazing. Oh, that's really funny.
Thank goodness for other players with shelters. Or survival tents,
survival tents. You use them as fast travel points. Other than that, I just sort of ran around at 76 trying to get some stuff cleaned up, getting rid of extra weight, going through the stash, finding just weird stuff that gets dumped when you're like, how did that get there? Anyway, just sort of like doing, spring cleaning before this next season started. Decided to switch weapons too. I had been using the alien blaster that had a quad clip, so I had just a shit ton of ammo in it, and faster fire rate, I believe. So it was a pretty sweet pistol. But I decided to pull out that Enclave plasma thrower thing. Remember that was popular a couple years ago?
Yeah, people still like it, especially with the vampires and such. I mean, the Holy Fire now has kind of stepped up, and it's kind of like the poor man's Enclave flamer. But are you liking it?
Well, I mean, I haven't really played much. I've just sort of got it out, and the last time I used it, for some reason, I don't think it was. Gosh, how long of it? I don't even know how long ago it was the last time I used this as my primary weapon. But I got a bloodied one, and I remember, don't re-roll this, or it's not as easy. Anyway, it's easier now to sort of design whatever weapon you want legendary-wise, I think. So I was like, it's bloodied, but who cares? I could probably roll it until I get another bloodied one again. So I rolled it just a couple of times, and I got a Fury faster fire rate one. I was like, ooh, this will be really good for an automatic sort of plasma thrower weapon. I just pretty excited to try that out. But anyway, opening up the camp, getting the Christmas stuff set up, getting the allies in their Christmas garb, of course. Got to get them all decked out.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
So, and the shady vendor. Did you get the shady vendor? Oh
my gosh! Of all the new things, so I don't remember if that was out last show. It might have been, but yeah, the kid, you want to buy some stuff? And like the little robot, he's like a Red Rocket robot, but he's like hunched over. He's got his trench coat.
So weird.
Yeah, he's like 3 robots in a trench coat, just selling you clinking and clanking odds and ends. He's awesome.
The first one's for free.
Solior called him the Flasher Vendor, which, by the way, I think they deliberately made it so he couldn't be a Flasher Vendor. He opens up one side of the coat, then as he opens the other, he brings the other around. So you can never actually expose the center where you absolutely know, some of you Horn Dog Fallout players out there would be mounting, you'd be mounting like that little Red Rocket power connector and be like, ha ha. So yeah, I think they deliberately made it so you couldn't do that.
See his Bolton nuts.
And I only say because I know people have tried.
I gotta see that sexy robot. That's pretty much all of my gameplay. Let's see, what did we have on for the show this evening?
Well, I moved up shouts a little earlier today.
You did.
Okay. So I did that for a reason, because I wanted to make sure to just shout out some of the awesome people in our community, and also what they've been sharing. So we're hitting the end of the year, and end of the year is when Spotify listeners end up getting their Wrapped. And the Wrapped is an email saying, hey, this is the artist you listen to most. This is the song you listen to most. This is sometimes the podcast you listen to most. So people have been sharing, like they did last year, on Twitter or Facebook, or a lot of them in the Discord this time. Essentially like Fallout Feed being on their list. So I just want to say thank you to everyone sharing, and a shout out to people. We had Brennan and Nandon. Brennan and Nandon had us on his list. So thank you so much, Brennan and Nandon. Rebecca as Scorcation, yes. We had Rebecca. The fun thing with Rebecca's too, sharing her top. So this is one that if there's anything we got on people's list, this could be it. The longest episode you listened to. So Rebecca was listening to some older stuff. She heard episode 168. Episode 168 of the Fallout Feed was from October 2020, and it was 4 hours and 16 minutes long.
Oh, good Lord.
Amazing.
Back when we used to do proper podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to keep it under 3 most of the time now. But yeah, we had Will on that episode. And it was a full feedback episode. So Will plus feedback. It could have been Sulior these days or a few others, but you get a guest that we can talk to about stuff a lot, and you get a lot of feedback coming in, and you get a big news week. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been a power hour. But anyway, shout out to Rebecca. Shout out to Courier7 there. We made Courier's top 10 over on Twitter. So thank you, Courier7, Livia. Calm Horizons. Scorcation. Calm Horizons shared too. Thank you, Calm. Mocha. You're one of Mocha's top podcasts. Thank you, Mocha. Of course, Sullivan. We were Sullivan's number one. Thank you, Sullivan. Once again, Rooster. Long podcast help. Fist Rooster. Yes, Fist all the roosters. We have Rooster. I shouldn't have said that. We have Sulior, of course, on Sulior's top. Thank you, Sulior. Catherine. Catherine she's been on the show a couple times, and she shared on Facebook. We were top podcast for her. And I added another. I wanted to shout out Sean. So who's Sean? Well, he hasn't been on the show, but I randomly got a message on Facebook, which I mean happens sometimes people listen to the show. But this one was funny because I was in the Starfield uh, group, just talking and liking, and I got a note saying, "Hey, you liked and commented on my Starfield post. Thank you so much. I listen to you, Andrew, and Ray all the time. I've never talked to him before." I'm like, well, hey, that's awesome. So shout out to him. And of course, everybody listening live, Clint, Jason, Cosmo, Randy, Cilior, Tasmani. We had Maddie in there earlier and a few others. Just appreciate you guys, all the support, and all the listeners who didn't let us know we were on your Wrapped, or, maybe only listen to one episode. Just thank you again for your support. I wanted to shout out some of you who were tagging us and sharing.
That's my shout.
He gets a Vuvuzela in their honor.
That's my shout right there.
Also, shout out to Otter the Podcat.
I can't believe that I can't just look it up somewhere in my Apple data. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's probably in there. I mean, we all have it. I went and I looked up my, so Podcast Addict doesn't give you this, which is what I use mostly. But looking at Lifetime, I'm afraid we're only number 12 in the last 5 years. We're only my number 12 podcast in the last 5 years.
Well, you probably shouldn't listen to your own podcast more than others.
See, this is what I'm thinking too.
I don't know. Like, I think it's a good sign if you enjoy listening. You certainly should at least be able to tolerate listening to your own podcast. If you can't, there's a problem.
Exactly. I listen back every once in a while to check how our mics were sounding, levels for shenanigans. I listen a lot to people's feedback episodes so I can hear that again properly because I love feedback. And during the show, sometimes I'm not always able to give it the proper attention. The Power Hours, gosh. Good music and goofy as hell.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Silly shows.
But yeah, so shout out to Otter the Podcat, who was on screen earlier and laying on top of the podcast notes.
Oh, he's a good podcat kitty. He gets the show.
Scorecation!
Have we done a Power Hour this year? I don't think we have.
Done a Power Hour in 2 years, have we? I don't know.
No, we did. I think we've done 5 of them at this point. But was the last big one we did, was it the game music? Was it the video game music? That was almost...
Video game music? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Wow. I feel like there was another one since then. But if not, you're right. We probably ought to get on it.
I think we had talked about doing one, but never pulled it off. So
well, we're always down for it, especially in between like roundtables. Although I have a feeling there's going to be some good Fallout news. Oh my gosh, there was so much news in the 2 weeks we were off. How did this happen? That's a whole nother thing.
Big news drop.
Big news drop. Speaking of news and listeners, did we get an email you wanted to read, Andrew?
We sure did get an email. Do I necessarily want to read it? I'm always terrible at reading stuff live. Here, let me pull it up here. Here, we have an email. Says, hello, fellow Wastelanders.
From Tasmania, by the way, from Tasmania.
Taz here, bringing you a new Fallout 4 modded playthrough, which will run a little bit different from the Roundtable characters in the past. The character is named Nagisa, and part of her background comes from her having both Chinese and Japanese ancestors and family. She always got some undue harassment because of her family origins. She served in the U.S. Navy as Special Ops soldier, where she proved her loyalty to her adopted country and armed service branch. She and Nate met at a military social function while in Boston and eventually married and had their child Sean. The talk of the threats of nuclear war had stirred up memories of the stories from her family of the events that happened in Japan at the end of World War II, and the 2 bombs dropped on the 2 cities. Her family lost family members back then when a bomb was dropped in Nagasaki. A great uncle had served at the Navy Yard there where the tragedy happened. As they were lowered into the vault and seeing the mushroom cloud appear, she wondered if her fate would be like that of her uncle. After Nagisa emerged from the vault, she started to work on the basics for survival. By applying the military service mod, Nagisa starts out at level 20 with special strength of 8, perception 8, endurance 7, charisma 6, intelligence 9, agility 4, luck 5. With also the enhancements from training and equipment. We'll try to report on her progress as often as I can. See you all in the wasteland. Just loosely adding up these numbers, they're all over 5. Does that work out mathematically? Are we cheating somehow here, Tess?
So what we have here, agility 4, but you note that with the service mod, she starts at level 20. So by starting at level 20, you're able to put some points.
You can put extra points in, right?
Into skills and special.
Right.
Yep. Yep, and that's why it's a modded playthrough. So that's great. Yeah, we might not be doing a Fallout 4 roundtable. We might have just wrapped one, but happy to hear feedback on this character and her story.
Yeah. You guys are doing any other weird little playthroughs off on the side? You decided to pop Fallout 3 in during the holidays, and I'd like to hear whatever you're getting into. So let us know what you're getting into with the video games and the holidays. Oh gosh, I got to get Mo all sorts of video games for his. It's amazing how much of his list is video games now. You know what I mean? Like it used to be toys. No, it's all
chip off the old block. I mean, and yeah, that happens. You know, video games have that allure. He's at that age.
Yeah. We just brought up an old electric piano into the living room, and he's been banging on that the last few days. So, I wanted to start playing, Christmas music in the house, but he's been on it most of the time, just like trying to by ear pick out like his favorite Godzilla music on the keyboard. It's been really fun. He's super excited because there's a new Godzilla movie coming out this weekend. Godzilla -1, or it just came out today. But it's his birthday weekend, so we're going out to see the Godzilla movie with a couple of buddies. Then we're gonna go to urban air and let him bounce around a little bit. You guys know indoor trampoline park. Yeah, he's super stoked.
I've never heard of that, but that sounds great.
Yeah. The indoor trampoline parks are all the rage in those parts of the world where in wintertime you still need to somehow exercise your kids, but the parks are like under a foot of snow.
Iced over.
Yeah. Very popular for parents in the wintertime. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep hearing Taz. Sure. Keep them coming. Love to hear any sort of playthrough anybody's doing there. What else we have for the show tonight? Oh, game time. You guys ready to play a little bit of a...
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
So is it that time already?
It's that time.
Okay. This is another one of those self-referential games.
I like self-referential games. Those are fun. I am curious how you're going to do this, though. Are we going to be listening to people, or?
No. All we're going to do is, okay, if you heard off the top of the show here, this thing here. That is a song that I recorded last February as part of my RPM challenge that I do every year. But I wanted to include as many of the Fallout Feed community as I could. And a bunch of people chimed in, said they wanted to sing on a song. And so sent me some MP3s and such. stacked them all together, and every single person was like, "Oh, they're so terrible. This is gonna sound awful.
Oh, we don't sound good." Yeah, I remember.
And put everyone together. Sounds like a fucking choir from heaven.
Sounds fantastic. Everybody, it sounds great. Yeah. And I cannot wait to hear the whole thing again. Hopefully, are we going to keep that for the intro for all of the holidays? We should,
sure,
right?
We can do that. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Not a bad idea. So, for game time tonight, I've got a Scream with Your Phone list. That song there was called Love Radiating. And for Love Radiating, we created the Fallout Feed Choir. I want you to tell me the 14 people from our community who appeared on that song.
I thought it might be something like that. Oh my goodness. But on behalf of everybody, I'm going to thank you for not playing the individual tracks because because I know most people do not want that.
They do not, but I'm saying, oh man, we all need to get over that because it sounds awesome together.
Together, it sounds wonderful. Right? Absolutely. So yeah, do we want to let Ray go first?
Sure, Ray. Who's singing on that song?
So I'm gonna go with Ray.
You getting the easy one out of the way first, Ray. Right. Jess, you're up.
I'm gonna go with Jess.
It's like voting for yourself on election day. Ray, what's up?
Lee.
Yes, of course. Lee on the board. Jess, you're up.
Andrew.
He is also there.
Right. I don't know if you counted as one of the 14. You probably didn't count yourself, but
I did. I did actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm in the choir.
You sure are.
Ray, I think it's back to you.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Okay. Oh, is he out? Are you done?
He's not out. He's got this.
Who was singing? Who did I shame and twist arms and just bug people to no end until they submitted?
Oof. Good one.
I have a hint for you, Ray, that might be a surprise if you don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so this person is a host of a popular podcast for which the ASA Podcasting Network is named after.
Michael?
Ding, ding, ding. Very nice.
Yes, Michael actually sent in on that too. Isn't that awesome? Podfather himself on the choir. Okay, that means it's on me though. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that.
Father. Yeah, you've given away all your answers.
Okay, so I'm writing them down as we go. So I'm gonna pick Sulior because I know Sulior did send in as well.
Yes, but I'm sorry, Jess. I've got it down here as Eric, and that's not the same. Sorry.
Okay, Eric.
Yes, okay, ding, ding, ding. Very good.
Thank you.
Ray, over to you, sir.
All right, I'm just going to start throwing out names. Will
was on that song. Good job, Ray. Back to you, Jess.
Wasteland Baker.
Baker was on it. Very good, Jess. Ray, back to you.
Oh gosh. Well, then I'll go with Pantagruelio.
Oh my God! I got all three of the Butcher Baker Candlemaker on the song. Of course we did. Jess, back to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do we have 9 already?
See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
5
7,
to
8,
go.
9. Yeah, you've got 9. Yep. 1, 2.
Because I know a lot of people said
3,
they
4,
might,
5.
But as far as who actually did, I don't know. Like some of our extended Twitter community said they might as well, beyond the usual Discord crew.
Extended Twitter community, she says.
Yeah. Like, people who maybe aren't on Discord as often or, send them feedback, but they still listen to the show occasionally and chip in.
That was back in the good old days when Twitter was a tolerable place.
Yeah, it's a little less so these days. I mean, I'm still there and a lot of great people there still, but it's a little different. Okay. But what I'm doing right now is called stalling.
Oh, yes.
So back to it. Let's see.
Back to it.
I don't think we probably got Victor to send something in.
No,
but
Victor.
It could be one of the other hosts or participants.
We'll let you have another guess.
Did we get Clint too? I don't know if that's my final answer though, because I'm thinking no, but that would be cool.
No, not Clint.
Okay, that wasn't my final answer. See, I was just kind of testing the waters, testing the water. I would have recognized those Australian sonorous tones. That's how I knew it wasn't Clint.
Hilarious.
Was there maybe a mutant hound in there? Is that possible?
Oh gosh, no, sorry, that was a vuvuzela.
See, I'm not good at recognizing mutant hounds either. Okay, so, stalling. Who sent in? Did RM send something in? She said she might.
I'm sorry, who?
RM?
Oh, RM. No, not.
This is back in the day, so I thought she might have. Yeah. Okay, I might be out.
You out?
No, I've got to know more. I mean, because Brad and Vitriol both said they might, but I doubt they did. Dawn sent something in. Sassy lady.
Oh, wait, did she? Oh, that was a different song, Jess. That was for the robots. Remember? Remember that was those. I was about to say, oh yeah, she did. Well, I didn't mark that down. Why not? Oh, because that was for
Okay, let's pass it over to Ray. See if Ray can get somebody. Because there's 5 left. I've got to get someone
for the big win, Ray.
Lou.
Oh, good guess. No Lou on the list.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this one out.
Yeah,
Jeff.
Put your heads together, you guys. Oh, and that will win the game. Good job, Jess.
As I say that, I'm going because I think you have these saved in the drive. So I am now opening up the list. Okay, so a couple people I named that's maybe sending in stuff actually were on the list but didn't. Did Sarah send in?
Yeah, Vossel Sauce sent one in, of course.
Okay, so Sarah and Jeff, that leaves 3 to go.
How about Craig?
Nope, no Craig.
Casey, did Casey send in?
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. Awesome, thank you, Casey.
The curator, of course, the curator.
Now, looking at the list, we've got 20 some here, so I don't know that they all did. Thinking who might have actually. Nope. Who was the last one or last 2? Dwight?
Dwight was there. Good job.
Yes, nice. Big ups to Dwight. Way to put yourself out there, man.
And one more. He's been in the Discord in recent shows. I don't know if he's here tonight. No, I don't think he is.
Alex?
No, but I will go ahead and reveal Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan! Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Sullivan.
Their last participant. Thank you, guys. Love that song. Love that so many people in the community hopped on to lend their voices. Very nice.
That was a hard scream list because like a lot of people wanted to, but I mean, wanting to and then doing it and be listening back and saying, yeah, I'm going to send this in. I mean, Ray and I had to.
You have to.
Yep.
Jess sent in whistling.
Yeah, that is me whistling. I told him just use it sparsely. So it's only in a couple lines, but you know.
Yeah, I tried to use it as much as I could. She says use it sparsely means pump it up. All right. So that was this week's edition of.
What time is it? Game time!
All right. We have. Gosh, are we on to iguana bits already, Jess?
We are. It's nice to get to iguana bits so early in the show,
right.
although it's going to take a while. I'm glad we got here an hour and a half in because
Okay.
there are a lot of bits, stuff for us to discuss and such.
All right. Well, Jess.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Is that what I sounded like? Oh my gosh. Okay, you said you were going to make it a thing. So yeah, iguana bits are ready. Okay, here I
Your
am.
iguana
Fresh set
bits
of
are
iguana
ready.
bits.
Pick them up, please.
Season 15 for Fallout 76 comes out on Tuesday. That's December 5th. We are going to get season 15, which has a name, and that name is The Big Score. So yeah, it is a casino themed season. Really cool looking board, kind of old school theme. It's got cards, it's got photos, reviews. So we've got the whole Atlantic City vibe happening because at the same time, Atlantic City is also coming out, our next expedition. So I gave myself homework to go back and rewatch the dev dives to kind of bone up on everything for you guys for Atlantic City. I didn't get my homework done. I was too busy playing Starfield, which, good times. But yeah, so the Big Score's a new season, has some great looking rewards. And it's going to be great. Exciting things to mention. The diamond dress outfit, a really kind of sassy looking outfit, looks great. The Conqueror Power Armor Paint. I'm checking to see if they've actually updated the whole reward list. Yes, they have. Okay, you guys. So looking over the reward list, they bring the casino theme all the way through. So you get some jackpot power armor paint. So if you wanted to have that kind of thing, it actually looks really cool. I'm tired of power armor paint as a reward, but for it's at least different having the big old number 7 on there for the casino. There's also, get this, a house of cards. Some might say that's a reference to the first year of Fallout 76 when it too was a house of cards. But now you can have it in your camp. It's meta. Going a little bit further in, let's see what we got. I'm just flipping through. This is my first time seeing this, you guys. You're getting my real-time impressions. I did not know they updated the site. Oh, there's a holiday tree flare. You can put Christmas trees on your backpack, Andrew. It's kind of cool.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You get even more Santa in your Santa. Also,
That'll be fun.
there's a red scrap box, so that's kind of neat. That's the first time.
Wait, are these Atomic Shop things or are these rewards? No, these are on the
Rewards
scoreboard.
for the season.
Scoreboard rewards. Okay.
Yep. So this is what you're going to get for your hard work, logging in most days, Andrew, grinding it out if you do it. And these are what Ray is not going to get. Behind door number 3, Ray is not going to open door number 1 or 2, let alone 3. But speaking of doors, we've got a safe door coming in. So yeah, it's a big old bank vault safe door for your camp. Looks really cool. An elegant chandelier. Oh my gosh, Andrew, this chandelier, Liberace would be proud to own. It is fancy. We've got a gangster fedora. Live impression, you guys. I'm just kind of going through. This wasn't even planned on the bits. I just put season 15 since I didn't rewatch the dev dive. Grand marble staircase. Oh, wow. Okay, that's at rank 45. So these are still in the first 50. So all you listening, even if you're slackers, okay, you're going to get some time. You might get this. A grand marble staircase. Window blinds, which thank goodness, because if there's one thing I get tired of, it's people peeping in my windows at the camp. A mounted dolphin head. Don't even ask. It's weird.
That's a thing, right?
It's
And
so
real
weird.
estate, like between realtors, there's a dolphin head thing. Like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, there's, dolphins are all the rage. We had the dolphin scoreboard a while back. And then we have like the weird fish dolphin thingies that we always find washed ashore in Fallout 4 and a few places elsewhere. This is more like, I don't even know. It's a very bitey dolphin. We have a gazebo survival tent. So
Very
it's like the
bitey
Palace
dolphin.
of the Winding Path gazebo as a survival tent. It's going to look
Oh.
great floating in the air. Let's see what else. A heart-shaped bed. So if the down and dirty, the last Valentine's we got that Red Hearts bed, but it's kind of grubby. Well, this heart-shaped bed is actually plush, looks great, perfect for that penthouse suite in Atlantic City. And let's hop to the end. Let's see the big rewards. Let's see the final. Okay, the diamond dress
what are the
reward
big
is
guys?
essentially that gold dress I mentioned, just the really snazzy gold dress. And we have a white modern home kitchen set. Looks pretty much the same as the blue one we already have, but it's white and modern looking. And rank 99 pre-war money firewood. It's a big old firewood box stuffed with bills with all bundled up so you can just burn money for heat and warmth.
Beautiful.
That is actually so classic. Perfect use for pre-war money.
Is the dress or the gown the same cut as the gala dress?
It's
Is
similar
is
to the gala
that
dress,
that
yeah.
one?
It's the one that gives you the good cleavage and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yep, it's a good one. So anyway, season 15 and Atlantic City coming out December 5th. There was a nice article as well I wanted to shout out with John Rush. He went and he talked to Game Rant about it. So I do recommend watching those dev dive videos again, like I should have, but they were really good. And about what Atlantic City involves. Well, he was on talking to Anthony over at Game Rant, and there's a whole article about this that I can drop in the chat for y'all and kind of describing, how they're bringing the game to a new region, what we need to get ready for. So, question. This is from Anthony asking Jonathan Rush. And by the way, Jonathan Rush is the art director. What are you most excited for players to experience in the upcoming Atlantic City updates? He says, I'm looking forward to seeing excitement from players exploring several new Atlantic City locations and learning about the people and creatures that live there. Because there are multiple factions this time, a little more fleshed out than the pit was. And there are locations, in the pit, there really is no location. You've got the, home of the Union dudes, and it's just like a couple of buildings that you got to defend from trogs, and then like Danilo hanging out on the wrong side of the tracks. Those aren't, actual headquarter locations. Whereas here for Atlantic City, there's going to be a lot more. They ask, what made the Atlantic City area stand out to you as a fitting candidate for the expedition? Jonathan Rush says, the curb appeal of Atlantic City as a concept was very apparent. Just saying, Atlantic City immediately brings out ideas of what that could be when coupled with Fallout. So after the Pit expedition explored a familiar location from the franchise, what went into the decision that the upcoming expedition should take place in a new environment? So Jonathan says, Atlantic City is different from locations we've previously done. The new expedition will be the first time the Fallout universe has explored that region, and it sounds like a fun opportunity to push the story in a challenging direction. Beyond that, let's see. He gets into the modern references, bringing in 50s kind of vibe, bringing in the whole gangster vibe. So not talking about New Vegas specifically here, but here we go. The interviewer had the same question. So the interviewer says, fans have been eager to note that the locations like New Casino seemingly draw influence from Fallout New Vegas style and setting. Is this connection more than coincidence? And Jonathan says, that's a great observation. However, the connection is coincidental. A unique setting such as Atlantic City offers a completely different landscape. With that comes the potential for stories and characters that differ from anywhere else. One direct parallel is that they both have gambling, but outside of that, they're very different. So don't expect a bunch of ring-a-ding and that kind of stuff. I don't expect the same sort of factions we had there. Maybe leaning more into the Atlantic City kind of New Jersey gangster format and stuff, you might identify with Atlantic City. Like the Rockettes, they're out of New York, right? But there are a lot of shows like that in Atlantic City. Atlantic City is known for those kind of shows. So check out that article in Game Rant, and I'm dropping it in the Discord now.
I don't know, Ray, you're the traveler. Have you been to Atlantic City and Vegas both?
Never have been to Atlantic City.
No, have I? I don't think I have either. Yeah, with the boardwalk and everything. Like it's classic, right? I feel like I've been there with Monopoly since that's where Monopoly is based. And it's classic. We recognize all the names, but yeah.
I was there as a child, so I didn't go into any casinos or anything, but it was cool to walk along the boardwalk and be on the on the shore there. That's always fun. Boardwalks are sweet.
Yeah, I've been to Asbury Park, but never up to or down to. I don't even know which way it is to Atlantic City.
Yeah, which exit on the turnpike is it there, Ray?
And do you have to take a bridge or a tunnel to get there?
The both, probably.
From what I saw of Atlantic City in the PTS, it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. It is an expedition, but it's a more explorable area. This is also just part one. So supposedly there will be a couple quests with this, and then there will be another expedition later on in part two, plus a lot more expansion on the storyline and quests between the characters, which will make it more of a slightly larger expansion style expedition that people want. So we'll see. Can't wait to run it. Maybe we can do it live on the show again. Probably not this time, but that was a lot of fun for the pit.
Oh Lord. It was a mess.
I don't know. I thought we've helped a lot of people get through on their first time.
I mean, for me.
It came through great on the show. You were fine. Okay, so next iguana bit, because we got a lot of iguana bit chunks on that stick today. We got some real serious TV show news. So first off, on the Fallout TV show, during our break, obviously, we got more info. We got some set releases. We got an article, set release photos, official stuff. But here's the first thing I want to mention. The CCXP has already started. And CCXP is a large art and pop culture comic convention in Brazil. It's huge there. It's a really big deal. Started on the 29th, I believe. Well, tomorrow, December 2nd, today, I suppose, if you've already gone to sleep and woken up, it is going to be there's going to be a panel. So at the panel, they're going to have several of the lead actors, and they're going to have the producer, Jonathan Nolan, there. So yeah, there will be a panel with question and answers. We'll learn a bit about the show. Probably, with that being the case, we'll probably get the trailer drop tomorrow. I don't know if that's tomorrow or if it's saving it for the Game Awards, but expect a full trailer drop very soon with these set photos and with this big discussion panel happening. So that is going to be tomorrow. Watch for news from that. At the same time at CCXP, Amazon Prime is going all in. So as you know, Prime is behind this. It's being made by Kilter Films, but with the whole kind of backup as Amazon doing the promotion, they have set up a huge booth there, a huge Fallout-themed Wonderland of a booth area at this convention. Ray, did you see the pictures?
I haven't, no.
Have you, Andrew?
No, I have not.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well then, let's just say that it's great. They have set up an actual full vault door set area. They've got 50s style motif. It's a Fallout Wonderland. And if you're there at this convention in Fallout cosplay, like the perfect setting for pictures. So it's really, really cool. And to date, like maybe the largest Fallout based installation I've seen. And what's funny is thinking about the fact that this is nothing compared to what the TV show will be, which will be all a Fallout-based installation. So that's going to be awesome. There is a large article on Vanity Fair about it. I don't know if you got a chance to read the article at all, Ray. Have you seen the pictures from the show? Probably. I think they were all over our Facebook group, so you probably have.
Yeah, I definitely saw the pictures, but I haven't looked at anything else.
It looks so authentic. It's funny because it matches up with a lot of the leaked photos we had, but in a slightly more polished, finished sort of way. So the picture of Ella Purnell, who's playing one of the three main characters, leaving the vault. She is the titular vault dweller that we have to have, leaving the vault. Her father, who's played by Kyle MacLachlan, was the overseer. So it's kind of the classic. We don't know under what circumstances she leaves the vault. Whether it's kind of for the usual salvation thing, looking for a Gek, looking for something to help the vault, looking for, well, not her
Water
dad,
chip.
probably. Yeah, water chip, kid, whatever it might be. Don't know what her motivation is entirely.
MacGuffin.
Mm-hmm. And so she's one of the three main characters, as we knew. We also know that Walton Goggins is playing a ghoul. We knew he was a ghoul, but now we got a little more background on his character that people are referring to as the ghoul. So he has that nickname because he is kind of a semi-notorious bounty hunter. And so instead of being a Hancock style character like we expected and a window to the past, the description of him as he was pre-war and he became a ghoul and he has kind of become a bit of a notorious bounty hunter. He's a little bit of an antagonist in the current show. So he may be, if not the villain, at least a challenge, but he is also the one who is our window into the past as far as what it was like pre-war for its flashbacks. So like we kind of suspected that might happen. Some of that. He can kind of talk about the wasteland and what's come up. And I almost think that he's going to be a cross between, say, Hancock and Kellogg. Because we get the same thing with Kellogg, right? We get those kind of sympathetic moments. Why is Kellogg the way he is? What happened in his life when you're traveling through his memories? And I wonder if some of the flashbacks are going to be like that. But that's just something I wanted to mention. And then the third main character is going to be a Brotherhood of Steel scribe. So that's very cool. Brotherhood of Steel is going to be very prominent in this. We did see pictures of a new airship. It's not the Pridwin. The new airship is the Caswinin. Or Caswinin. We'll hear how it's pronounced when it actually comes out. But they're both King Arthur references, which I thought was interesting. Pridwin is a King Arthur reference, and Caswinin is a King Arthur reference. So good continuity there. West Coast Brotherhood of Steel. This is going to be interesting. So we don't know the state of the Brotherhood in the show, but obviously they are relatively powerful and well equipped if they have an airship. And we know that had been the case, but the war with the NCR went more in the NCR's favor than the Brotherhood. When we saw them in New Vegas, for instance, the Lost Hills chapter, they had lost a huge battle and were, hiding in the Lost Hills bunker. They'd lost almost half of their chapter, but they were just one of many chapters. In the war,
also they lost the solar array,
right? And that's why they, their elder had wanted to defend the solar array, and that's one of the reasons why they were in such big trouble. Like they didn't do a strategic retreat. We're told through general lore that the Brotherhood lost 6 of their bunkers or chapters to the NCR, but we don't know how many they had total. And of those 6, 4 were supposedly strategic retreats where they destroyed the own bunker and retreated so that people the NCR couldn't claim that technology. So hopefully some of the other chapters, depends on how you feel about the Brotherhood, right, Andrew? Hopefully some of these chapters were a little bit stronger or still a little more together than the Lost Hills chapter, which you would figure if they still had a central point of contact and, they lost maybe 50% of their people in the course of the NCR war as locations, that would be enough for them to rebuild. So I don't think it's going to be a lore-breaking issue as far as where they've grouped, but you have to wonder, where did they regroup? You know what I mean? Is it north of NCR territory? Is it outside NCR territory? Or do they have bunkers right under the NCR's nose?
Is New Vegas and all of the happenings with that game considered canon for material
Absolutely.
for the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not only is New Vegas considered canon, but Todd Howard's gone on record saying that the show is, to be considered canon. That they have worked extensively with the group in the writing of the story and the direction of it. There is a quote in the article with Vanity Fair that it takes 219 years after the Great War. They specifically say 219, which would mean a good, 9 years after Fallout 4. So this will be the latest point in the series. Okay, we're going to get the latest point in the series, but it's also West Coast. So that puts it a good, more like 19 years after New Vegas, right? Or, not 19, more like 14, 15 years after the events of New Vegas. But because it's LA area, at least for the Vault 33, and some of what we're doing, we know is Los Angeles area, it might not even touch that much on what's happening in the New Vegas thing. So some people are saying, oh, we're going to get a canon ending. Are they going to say which one happened? Maybe, but I have a feeling they'll probably avoid that to keep player autonomy.
Dude, we're totally going to see the Boneyard.
We're going to see the Boneyard. Absolutely. One of the settlements they mentioned that showed up in the pictures was a settlement called Philly. Now, Philly is obviously Philadelphia, but I'm thinking with classic Fallout naming conventions like Novak for no vacancy, or oh gosh, the bridge settlement in Fallout 3 starts with an A.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. Arafu.
Arafu.
Awesome, which is careful. You lose the C and the L. And that sort of thing. So Philly, what could that come from? Maybe like an old Philadelphia cream cheese sign that fell down, or nobody knows. But I'm curious where that came from. So yeah, all kinds of stuff in here. Check the Vanity Fair article.
We could get creative.
Check the new news that's going to be coming out, and I expect a trailer soon. If we don't get one tomorrow from the panel, official or leaked, I'm sure we'll get one at the Game Awards, because Amazon and Prime is behind this. This is not your standard. Okay, sometimes we know that Bethesda's marketing or even Xbox's marketing is like, wait, why didn't they advertise this more? You don't say that about Amazon Prime. If they've got a big show coming, they're going to advertise the heck out of it. So I expect this to be advertised a lot of places, and probably on more standard channels than just gaming stuff. So we'll find out. Let's see. Oh, another bit. Did anyone else have anything on the TV show they wanted to mention? I could do a whole podcast with the bits tonight, you guys. I'm trying to go on too long.
Just no, it's not news by any stretch of the imagination, but I was just curious, have there been any whispers of cameos by like Ron Perlman and Liam Neeson and Linda Carter and those people? Like, are they
whispers of Ron Perlman? We're hoping. Yeah, we're hoping.
That's awesome.
That's definitely been whispered.
He's at least got to be the narrator if there's a narrator role,
Yeah, would love to get some of the voice actors in some position. And a number of the voice actors from the previous games, they do physical acting too, so it could happen. Next up on the list, Creation Club maintenance.
So I'm looking at the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So the Fallout TV show takes place in 2296. And in 2297, Moira Brown writes a story about the legacy of the Lone Wanderer.
So what the show's called?
No, I doubt it, but
it
would be good if we saw Moira Brown in the TV show.
If anybody could make it all the way across the country and still be around,
yeah,
be Moira Brown. That's funny. I don't know that bit of lore about her writing something in the future. That must have been a side note that somebody said at some point.
Yeah,
after the game.
Yeah, there's not much. The entries are quite small after 2287. There isn't much lore after that.
Oh, does that come up in Fallout Shelter Online? That must come from one of the Fallout Shelter games. There you go, Andrew. But online, not yours.
Oh, that said that wasn't familiar to me.
Neat.
Lousy.
Okay, next up, Creation Club maintenance. So I just clipped the official note from Bethesda Game Studios, and we can start speculating. So y'all may remember about 2 weeks ago, Bethesda sent out the following note. Hi, all. We're planning an extended maintenance window for in-game mods and Creation Club services starting the morning of November 29th. During this downtime, Skyrim mods and Creation Club content you already have downloaded will still be accessible along with the game. However, players will not be able to access the mods and Creation Club services, be able to change mod load orders. The Skyrim mods website will also undergo maintenance during the window, and ability to upload content from the creation kit will be temporarily available. So if you are out there as a mod author making mods for the creation kit, uploading them on Skyrim, you can't do it. You can't change your mod loadout. Of course, people playing, using Vortex and Nexus and everything else, they're just fine. But people getting the mods from BethesdaNet or Creation Club stuff cannot use it. They go on to say, we thank you for your patience during this longer maintenance window and encourage you to keep an eye on our official Bethesda Game Studios Discord or BethesdaNet status portal for details and updates. Now, this was almost 2 weeks ago. The 29th, of course, was what, 3, 4 days ago. And some people are like, oh, it's going to be down for a day or two. No, still down. And it's going to be down probably for a week or two, or maybe a little more. We don't know. So, what could this mean? Ray, do you have any thoughts on this?
I've avoided speculation on it. I think that I don't know if they are starting to, work on migrating, things that they learned in Creation Kit 2,
Mm-hmm.
to eventually be able to roll into one tool instead of two.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense. The stuff they're working on for Starfield's creation kit. And so they're locking that down partly.
Yeah. So, but other than that, not really sure. All I know is, I mean, it's a little late to tell people now because, it's already happened, but, don't update your game.
Yeah.
Make
Be
sure
safe.
you've got automatic updates turned off for any game that you have modded. So I turned Starfield off.
Right.
Because I knew that there was an update coming. Now I still screwed it up because I saw that two of the main mods that require updating anytime there's an update in the game files, were updated. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger, but then the third one, the guy had COVID and wasn't able to update his mod.
Oh no.
And so it took a day, so that just but that's the deep turn off automatic updates if you're using mods, so that you can continue playing the game.
Always smart. And now, of course, if you're using them through BethesdaNet and you have them installed, supposedly your mod should still be working. You just can't change load order, add or remove anything, or add and remove stuff from the Creation Club and get stuff from there. Now, there's a strong possibility that this could just be for Skyrim stuff, as far as, changing up the Creation Club as well, moving towards the mods marketplace model we've heard about, changing the way some of that is set up. And I say that because there has been speculation about two things. So first of all, in the mod community, it was said for a while that people think Starfield might be moving towards, when the Creation Club releases, to be more of a marketplace, being a little bit more open to user-created content and mods that way, and paid mods for more people. I say paid mods, but Creation Club stuff, and more skins and stuff like that. It's possible. We don't know. It's possible they're going to do a test bed on that, get it all set up for Skyrim, and then when it's implemented for Starfield a little ways down the road, that'll be all ready. Now, that's wild speculation, but possible. Another possibility that I think is a little bit more likely is it might be related to the Fallout 4 Creation Club integration with the Fallout 4 next-gen release. Assuming that is coming sometime soon. We know originally it was supposed to be out this year. That's what was said. October of 2022. They said next year, which next year is almost here. We don't know if that's still coming this year in December, or, more likely closer to the TV show. But we expect it to be out before that. But nothing official has been said yet, so we just don't know. However, with that release, they are adding in a lot of Creation Club content. And so maybe the change will apply to all the games and unify that. I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm excited. I love things like this. They're completely in the dark on, and we get to speculate. It's my jam.
All of our speculations are usually very accurate as well.
Oh, yeah. We're spot on.
We're never wrong.
Kind of like the Atlantic City. Atlantic City, you're rolling the dice, but we'll see. Speculation is fun for sure. And it might simply be something for Skyrim alone and just change the way that works. But man, moving to marketplace model or getting ready for Fallout 4 coming out sooner than later, that would be awesome. So here's one. This has been in all the news, and Ryan, I talked about it a little bit ahead of time today. So I'm not going to call it a controversy, but there have been some commentary on the fact that with the Starfield reviews going up now and Steam being mixed at this point, with a lot of mixed response. Some devs have been some of the Bethesda support team was responding to negative reviews in various ways. And yeah, that's been interesting. Just my quick thoughts on it. I actually thought it was kind of a good thing in general. The idea that when people have an issue in the game, it's nice if support actually takes and reads the reviews and issues and takes that under advisement, learning from the community. We always say we'd love it if, Bethesda listened to our complaints or responded to things when a developer is like, hey, we hear you. Okay, let's take a look. What are you actually thinking? So that, from a customer support perspective, is kind of cool. However, the actual responses, there were only, I think, 3 or 4 of them. And done by Bethesda Kraken on behalf of Bethesda customer support. And they were okay. Ray, did you have thoughts on these before I dig too deep a hole?
Yeah. So I thought the very best part of it, yes, it is good that they're, engaging. It's best if you engage with people in a, not a tone deaf way.
Yes. If you have an actual support issue that you can help with. Hey, I see you have this problem. I can help with this problem.
What I really loved was all of the responses to the response, because they were hilarious. And, really to boil it all down, it was like, okay, this is an AI. This is not an actual human responding to these, complaints. This is all AI generated, because it was so incredibly tone deaf.
It was tone deaf. Yeah. The worst part, I just got to point out real quick, was, when he goes to the whole, some of Starfield's planets are meant to be empty by design, but that's not boring. When the astronauts went to the moon, there was nothing there, and they certainly weren't bored, put in quotes, because that was said in promotional stuff early on. But, I was talking about the positive thing of customer support when you have a problem helping with it. In this case, it's like someone says, I don't like something. And then the person comes in and says, oh, but you're wrong. This is why you should like it. Yeah, no, that's tone deaf, because the person you responded to has put this much time in it. It's one thing as a person sharing your experiences, but representing the company saying, hey, you don't like this, but you're wrong. You should like it. And here's why. No.
Yeah. No. So the thing that immediately blew up in my head was, when people were having trouble with their brand new iPhones, where their phone would cut out on them, and Steve Jobs' response was, "You're holding it wrong. You shouldn't hold your phone in your hand next to your ear. That's wrong." Okay, well, so that became kind of the cornerstone of bad response, and
it
that's
really was
exactly what this made me think about is you are playing our game wrong.
Yeah, that's the Steve Jobs response. My go-to there is an Xbox example. Don Matrick, after the reveal of the Xbox One and how it had to be always online in the original design in order to play some games because of DRM and showing that you own the game. He was asked, well, what about people who don't have online access? Say they're in a remote location, or someone even mentioned like a submarine. And he's like, yeah, we have a system for them. It's called the Xbox 360. What? What? Don't buy my new product. Just keep using my old because it's not for you. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So this is just a support rep, Bethesda Kraken. We assume they're a support rep, that they are who they say they are. They are marked as a dev on the responses. They only did a couple, and it's quite possible that they either did it on their own initiative or Bethesda support wanted to see, hey, how can we show people we're listening and respond to some of these? And overall, the response was okay, if a bit, like you're saying, kind of milquetoast. But then it was so tone deaf. And the part where it's basically telling people, yeah, so the thing you don't like, you actually do like. And here's why. No, that doesn't help anybody.
No.
It's funny. Lee in chat says he was thinking of the Steve Jobs quote too. Same thing.
Well, yeah, Lee and I are from the same era, so.
Okay, moving on. I already mentioned Creation Club, but let me mention what that could lead into for Fallout 4 Next Gen. So the reason I say maybe sooner than we think. We know at this point that, well, we expect at this point that it should be by the release of the TV show, which would make sense. And I actually think, being at least a month or so before the TV show or a little longer so they can work on any bugs, features in the update could really help. But there is evidence to the fact that it might be sooner and they are moving to get ready to release it. So we've talked in the past about how Steam change logs, file uploads, dev uploads in the file change logs can be a hint on what they're working on. There was the big tease last spring with the whole New Vegas 2 on one of the change logs and stuff. But there was a file in the change logs and version that has been going up every day from April through October. They were, if not every day, close to it, a revision, a change on this file with a different name that wasn't part of the base file set almost daily. That file has been removed and not updated since the first week of November. So this almost daily thing, this change happening they were working on in the code for Fallout 4 and, the testing bed on Steam is no longer updated, which is an interesting indicator that if that was for the new version,
testing is over.
Maybe it's ready. Yeah. And you bring that in with the Creation Club news and, pulling that down for a bit, not being able to affect mods. Like if there are somehow connected, a lot of things coming together. If it's going to be this year, it may be ready. They may be working on it. I don't know, but I want it.
It's the real final version because in the file name it says in parentheses final version, and then there's another set of parentheses that says no really final version, and then another set of no for real final version final version. And how your file, you think you're done, and then god damn it, one more tweak, final version.
Do you do that when you're saving files sometimes? I mean, I know I do. I call something final and I'm like, oh wait, there's another revision.
Yes, I think I was satisfied with a music mix, and then I'm listening to it a couple weeks later and I hear something, I want to go back and change something small and then do another mix, and I'm like, oh god damn it. The final version.
Yeah, that's why you use version numbers.
Yeah, it's just REV 1-2.
Speculation runs rampant. I just like these kind of little bits of evidence and what they could mean. It's like just, hunting things down.
Yeah, we've been going through the same thing in the No Man's Sky community because there were internal branch updates out of the blue. Nobody knew they were coming. And they updated it a few different times. And then the normal, if the game goes on sale on all platforms, then that's like, okay, now it's happening for sure. All that has happened and no update is out. So
all the indicators, but no update.
No update. So
guys are just living on the edge.
Yeah, I think that they're just trying to reset, our reality.
It's part of what you were saying before, at the beginning of the show, that people get used to getting very regular updates. And when you have to slow down, it's hard.
They ever done anything Christmassy in that game?
No, about the closest we ever got to a holiday thing was at Halloween. We got a bunch of creature masks.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, that's where Pantagruelia picked up her now iconic flesh helmet.
Oh my goodness. Just the sound of that. Oh,
Beautiful,
goodness.
beautiful.
But yeah, Lee mentions that you guys were talking on BBC ISS, but the No Man's Sky devs are just playing a Starfield, and that's what's going on.
Right.
Good on them. And you know why they're playing Starfield? Next Iguana bit, we already hit it, but the DLSS mod and, first big update to Starfield is out. And I know it's the second update, but this one had more stuff in it. Now, obviously, we're hoping for more, hopefully soon, hopefully news. But yeah, that is happening, and some quests are fixed.
Yeah.
About,
they got a lot of crap for not initially releasing with DLSS support. When modders had it out immediately.
Yeah.
But I mean that was just 100% a deal that they made with AMD.
Right, running the FSR and not launching with DLSS, which probably hurt them in the community, and we don't know obviously the terms of such things, but it does make you say, geez, if they had DLSS at launch, it would have made some PC players give it a better look than they did. Obviously, lots of people enjoying it, but they had performance issues. I mean, how was performance for you at first, Ray?
I've been perfectly fine.
You also have the biggest beast of a computer, actually, now that I think about it. But
I always worry whenever they update because, it's the same thing happened to me with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk came out and everybody is just, oh my God, this thing is terrible. It's crashing all the time. And, you can't have more than 2 or 3 people on the sidewalk at a time without it, dying and, just going on and on and on. And all the while I'm like,
fine for you the whole time.
Great for me.
PC players didn't really experience that. Yeah.
And it wasn't until that they started doing updates to help fix all those other problems that I started having problems. And so the same thing happened with Starfield. I was doing just fine, not having any issues to speak of. But as soon as they started releasing patches and updates, I started having weird problems. So, it's just, it is a PC phenomenon. You do have, if you have a very strong PC, you're going to have fewer problems. It just, if your computer is fast enough, it's not going to run into issues where, things aren't executing as quickly as they need to, for the game to run smooth and that type of thing. So
you can get past certain levels of optimization with brute force sometimes.
Yeah.
Sheer power. And and obviously Starfield overall, really good reviews. And at the time, you were enjoying it and most of us have been. As we've seen as it's gone on, some, the longer we play, we've seen more bugs or issues. And there have been with some of the changes for the positive. I have had a few more issues after updates, but is that because after updates or just because, 270 hours in the game on a single playthrough? It's hard to say, but hopefully they get all that ironed out. And like with Cyberpunk, that whole thing you're talking about on PC. One of the funny things with Cyberpunk at launch that people didn't understand was that reviews were much better than people's experience when they started playing it. And that's because the PC version generally ran better for people from the start. Not just you, Ray, like even people with, mid-range PCs. And then on console, if they were playing the current gen, at that point, like still the very, very new gen, but if you're playing on that, they didn't have as many issues as they did on the old gen, but it was the crashiest and the most sparse and not full featured on last gen Xboxes. So, it's just interesting how that goes, that PC isn't standardized, whereas consoles are, and change the way you optimize and you can brute force it. So speaking of platforms that may be optimized, cell phones. Anyone who got a chance to play that Castles game, the kind of Fallout Shelter-like Elder Scrolls game, Castles, it has been an early access for people. That early access is going away on, I believe, December 5th. So if you have it and haven't played it, or if you've been playing it and you want to, get some more time in, do it in the next week, several days, because early access period will be ending and they'll be pulling it down shortly. So I just want to give you guys a heads up about that if you are able to play it. But what that means, Andrew, is that they may release it for real after doing their tweaks, and then it'll be available to everybody and not just people who got it in that couple-hour window.
Skyrim Shelter.
The Skyrim Shelter looks pretty involved. I only put an hour in. I have not given enough attention. I got to say, it is more involved than Fallout Shelter in a lot of ways. Not quite as easy access, a little bit more strategy, but it seemed really cool. And a couple friends playing it really love it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm totally excited to try that one out.
Last thing I want to mention, totally not related to us and our show most ways, but Game Awards is coming up on the 7th. The Game Awards is coming up on the 7th. So, there'll be a lot of announcements, debuts, and stuff there. They do the awards, but it's just as much about the world premieres and the big reveals and that sort of thing. So expect some news for all kinds of things. Maybe that's where we get a Fallout show trailer. Maybe that's where we find out about Fallout 4 Next Gen update. Probably not. They probably wouldn't do that at Game Awards, but who knows? They could. Maybe that's where we hear something big about Starfield or some other big Xbox project. So Xbox has said they will have a presence there this year, which is good because last year they didn't. And there was outcry until their developer direct in January. So yeah, so expect a lot of fun stuff from that, but not the GTA trailer. Why? Because GTA did say they were having a trailer for GTA 6 coming out. People are like, oh, is it going to be at the Game Awards? It's actually going to be before the Game Awards. They have a date, 9 a.m., I think, on the 6th or 7th. I don't know if it's the same day or the next. Ooh, I got to look that up. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, whatever. Beginning of next week, there will be a GTA trailer. That's not part of our show, but if you care about it, that's when you should expect it. And that is it for the bits. A big, healthy helping of something that is definitely not human. It's iguana. Iguana bits.
Oh, Jess, thank you for the iguana bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
Now she can put them down. All right. Well, since we already did shouts earlier on in the show, is there anything else y'all would like to discuss on the show this evening? And in that case, you can find her over there on the Twitters at SleepIs4T and at Dames Who Game. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on tonight.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening.
He can be found at RayLB, also at BBCISSS, for all of your No Man's Sky spaceship show needs. Ray, thanks so much.
Good times.
I can be found at Indie Android. The show can be found at The Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
So I started over fresh.
They had performance issues. I mean, how was performance for you at first, Ray?
I've been perfectly fine.
The down and dirty, that's all the roosters, pumping that thing every day.
The ins and outs.
Like a horny full.
Well.
Muffin humpers. You can get lucky. But if you're finding you're not getting lucky, go in there, do your thing, and boom, it'll pop in. If you could get in me, I bet you could go and do a quest